Good day and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. I'm pleased that you've joined me. Thank you. Yesterday, we introduced the idea of the ticking relapse time bomb. And it's associated with a recurring fear, most often in early recovery, that one's sobriety may be on very thin ice. I want to introduce you next to a recent scientific evidence-based understanding that will provide us the basis for a whole array of tools we can use to move from this relapse time bomb sense to a far more secure sense of solid, reliable recovery that we can count on. I hope I have your interest. Recent discoveries in psychology have identified an I system, literally the word I with a hyphen system, an I system that each of us possesses, and it serves as our physical and emotional baseline. Now, the I system is directly linked in our brains to our personal sense of survival. Maybe one shorthand is to think it wants to protect the I that you are, that I am. This is the I system. So it's there, intimately linked in our brain to our survival system. We'll have more to say about the brain shortly. But whether it's physically or emotionally, this I system is there really to serve our protection. And thankfully, as we begin to unpack it, it's really pretty simple to understand and extremely important as we talk about recovery from addiction, including this relapse time bomb that is sometimes associated with dread and fear. Let me start by summarizing it this way. When our I system, the survival center, when it's at rest, we are resilient in the face of stress. We remain calm inside, and we're quite unlikely to relapse to unhealthy coping mechanisms, which is what we've been calling addictions. This is when the I system is at rest. On the other hand, when our I system is overstimulated or overactivated, we are much more vulnerable to stress. We feel distressed inside and are going to be much more likely to relapse to unhealthy coping mechanisms in that state of mind and body. So for today's practical application and homework exercise, I'd like to ask you to identify a time or two, even recently, when you were faced with stressors, yet were able to stay relatively calm even amidst the storm and didn't need to resort to addictive behaviors to cope. While we're at it, conversely, the flip side of this, can you identify a time or two when you were faced again with stressors, but this time instead you felt highly distressed or out of sorts, didn't feel like you had sufficient resources to deal with it, and hence you resorted to maybe an old standby addictive behavior or two? Does that make sense? We're looking at both sides. Facing stress where you have resource, resilience, facing stress when you feel absent of that and resort to addictive behaviors. The distinction between these two states of mind will be very important as we move forward in our next several conversations. So let's see what you discover. In the meantime, I want to thank you again for spending part of your day with us here at your Vitality Project. Please stay safe, be well, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.